iconic Liliesleaf Farm is bankrupt, but no one wants to take the blame for this happening at Liliesleaf. It's to a place that holds so much of our country's history. The names that you can recite are almost endless. The Liliesleaf Board of Trustees has confirmed that the iconic institution is broke, it has no money, and it says it's not to blame for government blocking its funding. But the Arts and Culture Department, of course, has a different view on this. There's money being spoken about to the tune of almost 8 million rand allocated to the museum. So yesterday we had the CEO of Liliesleaf Trust, Nicholas Walpe, on the channel. This morning, I now hear from the Department of Arts and Culture, DDG. It's Vusithemba Ndima. Vusithemba, good morning to you. I'm not sure if you had a chance to see the interview I did with Nicholas Walpe yesterday, suggesting that the Department of Arts and Culture is not coming to the party. Is that true? Vusithemba, I'm not sure if you're able to hear me, and if not, let me ask my question again. Nicholas Walpe from Liliesleaf saying the Department of Arts and Culture
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Steve, and also thank you to the viewers, and good morning to the viewers. Let me just start by saying that it is not true that the department is blocking any support to Liliesleaf. We have got a very long history with Liliesleaf where we've been supporting them. But I think I must clarify to yourself and to the viewers that, the arrangement between us and Liliesleaf has been characterized by grants in aid ad hoc funding, which is not guaranteed. Any ad hoc funding is not guaranteed. We have also been persuading Liliesleaf to become one of our museums that are subsidized by the National Department, but they have, for a very long time, declined that request that was coming from government. It's only of late that the council has now actually indicated they are interested in becoming a state institution.
What would that mean? Forgive me, Mr. Ndima, let me come in quickly, and I apologize to viewers. I think there's a bit of a delay on the line. Forgive me, Mr. Ndima. What would that mean if Liliesleaf becomes a museum of the Department of Arts and Culture? Would that save Liliesleaf and the people that work there?
Yes, because first and foremost, if it becomes a state institution, it becomes declared in terms of the Cultural Institutions Act. And that act, it places obligations on the minister to provide subsidy to a national institution. But also, it places obligations on Liliesleaf in terms of how they appoint the members of the board of trust. Because if you are now in the government space, you have to follow transparent processes. There needs to be public nominations. Whoever serves in the board should have a particular expertise. It could be people who are coming with financial expertise, legal expertise, core business expertise with regards to heritage management. But over and above, the issues of representativity, who is represented there, talking about demographics. We're also talking about geographic representativity, because it becomes a national property.
It does, and I certainly understand the difference of what it will make by having the Department of Arts and Culture involved, because it sounds like if it was to come into the fold of the Department of Arts and Culture, it would make a difference. So why do you then think, if I understood you earlier, Liliesleaf and the trust and the board are not wanting to do this? What's the hold-up, do you think? Why aren't they wanting to be part of your department?
Maybe just to give you a bit of history, the CEO of Liliesleaf, as early as 2005-06, he would come to the department and would say, no, just give us a bit of money. We will be self-sufficient. We will be able to sustain our museum without government support if you support us for a particular period. And he would come up with the fact that there was going to be a hotel that was just going to generate more income. So I think that was, the era of judgment. that institutions all over the world, they do require government support. I mean, if you were to go to the Louvre today, they still do get a government support, despite the fact that their foot traffic is so high. So I would really just think that this thing of wanting to be independent and thinking that you're going to be able to make it without any government support. But I think that this has been proven to be wrong, because as I'm telling you today, the board has come to the department and say, look, they are now wanting to become part of government system of museums.
And so just before I say goodbye to you, DDG, is that something that can happen quite quickly? The reason I'm asking is not just for the upkeep of Liliesleaf Farm as a museum, but I'm also obviously quite concerned about the staff. I was there last year when the story first came out. There are jobs on the line as well. If you and the Liliesleaf Trust and their board were to get into a room today, how quickly could this happen to save jobs and to save the heritage site? How quickly can you do that?
Unfortunately, you know, the time for just turning this into a museum, it requires some due diligence. You know that it would mean that the department is assuming assets, but also it takes some liabilities. So it's not something that can happen overnight. It will take a while, but already the department, or the DG, our DG, has already met with in fact on the 18th, met with the members of the board to start the process of saying, let's talk and let's proceed with the process of looking at that. So I cannot really give you a timeline. I know that you would love that. And all of us, we are really sympathetic to the situation at Liliesleaf. As government, we are doing the best that we can to ensure that we support. But as I'm saying that, it must be clarified that there hasn't been any relaxation on the part of the department. And also, just to correct something, Steve, before I leave this meeting or this interview, also the assertion that Minister promised a sum of 20 million rand once the report has been presented to him. There hasn't been that kind of a commitment. All the discussions that happened between the board and the minister in September last year was this issue of looking at the change of the management regime. Also with the meeting that happened between the DG and the board members on the 18th, which is Friday last week, we have not spoken about any specific amounts of money.
Let me just jump in very quickly. DDG, I'm very tight on time, but I just want to make sure I understand we're going to take this story forward. So you're telling me, as Gareth Edwards, that if the CEO of the Liliesleaf Trust was to phone you right now, you could get this conversation going. Very briefly, DDG, before I say goodbye.
Well, currently, it's not about me and the CEO, Gareth, but the discussions have already started between our Director General and the Board of Trustees. Those conversations have already started. So we cannot sort of create parallel discussions between myself and the CEO. Well, those discussions are just alive.
They're alive, and hopefully they can continue and we get somewhere with this. I appreciate your time. Department of Arts and Culture, DDG, Vusithemba and Ndima, thank you very much for giving us the side of the Department of Arts and Culture.